It was World Mental Health Day yesterday, and I want to give a little bit of recognition to all of you out there who are struggling with depression and anxiety. It's an important issue for me because these are things that I've struggled with most of my life. And all of it really came from a lack of masculine identity. From a lack of any kind of positive role models to the whole world telling me that it was bad to be a man. I just had no confidence in myself, no certainty about anything that I did. And if you're anything like me, then you feel like, as a man, you don't belong in the world, you're not welcome. No one appreciates your presence or wants to hear your feelings or your thoughts. You feel unattractive and undesired, so you try to keep out of sight, keep your opinions and your feelings to yourself. You're the one who's quiet in the back of class, trying his best not to answer any of the questions, trying his best to not be seen, to invisibly float through life. And the only time you actually feel like yourself is when you're alone. When I was growing up and through most of my life, I really had no positive guidance for what it meant to be a man. Only the constant negatives that surround us all the time. We're told that giving our opinions is bad because, that's mansplaining, and that you should keep your opinions and your thoughts to yourself.
I love the mansplaining. I'm enjoying it.
You're loving what?
The mansplaining that's going on.
We're told that we're all closeted grapists, that it's in our nature to want to do that to women. And that if you like a woman at all, it makes you a creep. You're sexualizing her, you're objectifying her. And we're told that women are horribly burdened by men talking to her, that you shouldn't even approach her, and definitely do not flirt with her. We're even told that when we're walking down the sidewalk and there's another woman on the sidewalk, we need to remove ourselves from that sidewalk, just on the off chance that she might feel a bit uncomfortable. We're even told that a certain way of sitting is absolutely unacceptable. The whole culture is just telling you to curl up and die. And tragically, that's what a lot of men end up doing. Men have absolutely no positive view of what it means to be a man today. No positive role models, no positive sense of identity, nothing to strive for in a positive way. Just a whole list of things to avoid. Just the ever-present negative view of what it means to be a man. And that leaves you completely unable to live your life. Without a positive view of what it means to be a man, without a positive sense of identity, you're just left unsure of all your actions. Yeah, you have a long list of things not to do, but that just leaves you wondering, well, what should I do? And when you're left uncertain about all these actions in your life, about, whether or not you should talk, whether or not you're allowed to share your feelings, whether or not you're allowed to walk down the sidewalk, whether or not you're allowed to find a woman that you love and be happy. You're left uncertain about all these actions, and that's where chronic anxiety comes from. Being uncertain about what to do and feeling like you have no power over it. It seems like no matter what you choose, you're probably going to end up being condemned by all the people around you. We need a sense of identity, not just as humans, but as men. Is it okay to speak your mind? When? It gives you a sense of certainty when it comes to your actions. Is it okay to speak your mind? To share your feelings with people? Is it wrong? Is it okay to walk down the side of the street if there's a woman there? Is it okay to find women attractive and to talk to them, or is that objectifying them? When you don't have a positive sense that any of this is right or wrong, you're just left feeling crippled and unable to make a decision. You're left uncertain, even about things that you think or feel. And it's that uncertainty that's constantly there that leads to chronic anxiety. And of course, somewhere along the way when we're growing up, the depression sets in, because we start to feel like all the things that we want out of life, whether it's a career or love, we feel like it's just not obtainable. We're told that we don't really deserve a good job because if we got that good job, we'd just be stealing it from a woman who does deserve it. We're told that we don't deserve love because for a woman to really love you is really just turning her into a servant, and that ultimately we're all just evil grapists and don't deserve love at all. All of this leaves us feeling like we don't deserve to be alive. which leads to chronic depression, that constant feeling of hopelessness, of why bother? Why try too hard? If no one's actually going to recognize your efforts, if no one's actually going to care that you've done anything at all, why bother? Our culture has left us so crippled when it comes to our self-image, and because of that, it's created countless mental illnesses. What you need is a positive sense of yourself, a positive sense of what it means to be a man. Now, the feminists like to paint the emasculated soy boy as the positive alternative to the monster that they paint you as. But it is absolutely not a positive alternative. Their alternative is really just the result of what our culture has done to you and done to all of us. It's stripped us from our decisiveness, from our sense of certainty, from our sense of self-esteem. Really, it's ripped the spine out of all of us. And accepting that as a positive is not going to get rid of your anxiety or depression. It's not going to lead to any kind of happy life. No, the real alternative is the inverse of the anxiety and depression that you're currently struggling with. Rather than feeling anxious and depressed and hopeless about life, we need you feeling confident in your actions, certain about your decisions, hopeful about your future, and ultimately feeling like your life is yours and that you have the right to live it. So I want to share with you what I did to gain control over this horrible situation of feeling anxious all the time, feeling depressed all the time, feeling negative about myself. I hope that it can help you in your situation. Primarily what the goal should be is to remove the modern message that you are wicked for being a man, that you're evil, that finding women attractive is bad, that you wanting to go after your life makes you a bad person. Removing that message from your life as in any way that you can. And typically what that's going to look like is within your own home. Whether that's the whole of your home, or if you're still living at home with your parents, then that would be your bedroom. And what you want to do is replace that message with a positive one. So instead of filling your time with scrolling through social media and watching some modern TV show, instead watch some old movies made before 1965 or so. Older movies have so much more of a positive view of what it meant to be a man. Find old paintings from like the 1800s or so of these heroic, awesome men doing awesome things. If you want to be super cool, find old sculptures of heroic figures. Fill your home, your environment, with positive imagery of men. Because today, all our culture is doing is just filling your mind with negative images, negative narratives, negative perspectives, that your whole existence is a negative. And it's impossible for you to be happy so long as that idea is in your head. So long as that view of yourself is in your head. What you're going to find is when you start purging that out of your life, it's probably going to be weird and uncomfortable at first because it's such a shock. It's such a difference in the worldview. But what you're going to find is after a while, the anxiety will go away. You're going to start gaining a sense of like, yeah, actually, it's okay for me to talk about my own opinions. That's okay. And if other people in the world start freaking out about it, they're the weirdos. Not me. I'm not the freak for having an opinion, for thinking. If I want to talk about how I'm feeling, that's okay. That should be okay. If people treat me like I'm weird or a creep or a freak just for talking about how I feel, they're the weirdos. When you start replacing this negative view of what it means to be a man with a positive one, you're going to start seeing how your own view of yourself and your own actions are going to change. You're going to find yourself gaining a whole lot more certainty in your actions. Now, it's not an immediate thing, but if you allow yourself the time to immerse yourself into a more positive view of what it means to be a man, you'll be amazed at how much your life will change. Our culture is destroying your mental health, and that will keep you from living a good life. And the only way to do it, unfortunately, is to take it into your own hands. To effectively create your own little healthy culture in any way that you can. Now, in order to help you get a start on this, I have linked in the description below a free guide that has a list of all sorts of art that you can start adding into your life to really change your view of yourself and your own life. Check it out. It's in the description below. It's totally free. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more content like this. And I'm actually working on a introspection guide that's going to help you get to understand your own emotions, learn how to manage those feelings, and gain a deeper sense of what it is that you want in life. If you want to hear when that guide comes out, be sure to subscribe. If you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. And I wish you the absolute best in your mental health journeys.